Here we go.
Do it.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Hi, Coffiners. Welcome back to another episode of Coffin Talkin', where we unravel the mysteries, embrace the peculiar, and find humor in the unconventional world of funerals and death. I'm Holly. I'm here with Frank.
Hello, Holly.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. As you can hear, my voice is not doing great.
Nor is your nose. That's the way I'm feeling.
Nose.
I know that's what I'm feeling this morning too. You'll hear a little bit of a grovel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
So I have been sick all week.
Other than that, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick all week. How was the visit with the sister?
Oh, it was so fun.
Good.
She was sick for the majority of the time that she was here, but we ended up talking about it, and she's like, you know what? If I was sick at home with 4 little kids, there's no way I could actually recover. So it's a good thing I'm here being sick than at home being sick.
And by the way, Holly, I'm sorry if I get you sick.
Right.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was mentioned. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, she's so cool.
I know she is really cool.
Yeah.
It was really fun having her here.
Yep. So the one thing I will say right at the beginning, and I think we have to apologize to the Coffiners, is that I did not realize my microphone was going out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I'm just going to state this. It was on my chest, Holly.
You were speaking right into it.
No, from the previous episode.
Oh, it was on my chest.
Of all times for the microphone to give out was right at the crucial moment.
My gosh.
I'm leaning into the microphone. What did I just say?
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, for those Coffiners that had listened to it and had to put their ear right next to the speaker, yeah, it was on my chest.
It was just for dramatic effect, honestly.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So we've been playing with the idea of having to record that one, but we decided not to, and hopefully you'll understand and forgive us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, for not falling through that silly microphone. Hopefully the next couple of episodes will redeem us.
Yeah.
In regards to volume and being able to hear everything that's being said. So that being said, I think there were 2 episodes actually that I thought we had the microphone issue fixed, and apparently we did not. And so hopefully there won't be any issues with this one.
But we've definitely gotten it fixed. So moving forward, you don't have to worry about it. It'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. So that being said, I, this past week as well, had the opportunity to speak with a number of different families. And it is amazing to me how individuals can actually feel that they are so close to their loved ones when they pass away. And then all of a sudden memories just start talking, and then experiences start being expressed and shared. And some of them are just absolutely cool. And I haven't asked permission of this one family, but I will, to see if I can share it and let them know the format that we'd be sharing it on. They may not want it shared, but anyway, it is very interesting to me that the more and more I'm listening and talking with people, how it's happening to more and more people. And it's not just necessarily me or to you or to other family. And I think again, I'm just going to reiterate it, that the important part is being able to share it with others, because that increases a faith or a knowledge of life hereafter.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's very important that people understand and know that is going to happen and does happen. So
definitely, yeah, I think that's so cool, especially as just people start to get talking.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll start to talk and memories will just flow, and it's beautiful.
And what's funny too is that you may be sitting next to someone who's had some of the most amazing experiences, and without you even opening your mouth saying, "Oh my gosh, have you heard this? Either this podcast, or let me tell you of an experience that I just heard about," and then all of a sudden the floodgates open.
Yeah,
and people are willing to share.
And I think there's so many. This is kind of a tangent, But I think there are so many missed opportunities with people just being constantly looking down at their phone and, just
Mm-hmm.
in their own world and not
Mm-hmm.
willing to interact with people. I mean, even just putting your phone away in a grocery
Yes.
line, like, waiting to check out somewhere or standing in line, you never know who needs to talk.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing that is kind of irritating to me is if you go out to dinner and you watch other couples or people at a
Oh my
dinner
gosh,
table,
yeah, and they're just on their
they're not
phone.
even, yeah, they're not even interacting. Okay, great. So you went out. Was the purpose to just go out, or was the purpose to communicate?
Right.
Because all you're doing is, unless they're texting one another on their
Yeah, they're
phones,
texting each other.
then I guess that's okay. But
Right.
man, put the phone down, look up, and enjoy the company you're with.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it's been a plague, and I mean, phones are so great for so many things, but it really is just it's so easy to just get sucked into it
mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
not
it
even
is.
realize. So, maybe that's a small little challenge that will issue all of our coffeners is to just
Look up.
realize, yeah, look up and pay attention to who's around you and actually connect with people.
Hmm. Hey, you know what just dawned on me, Holly? That
What?
as we go through this with both of our raspy voices, if we end up coughing through the episode, we truly are doing cough and talking.
We are coffin talking. Oh my gosh. I think as long as we cough and we add inner after, so it's a coffiner, that would be appreciated.
Oh, my word. Oh, well, we do appreciate you, Coffiners. And for those of you that are just joining us, maybe for the first time, thank you. And
Yeah,
we
it's
hope that
nice
you
to have you
enjoy the
here.
ride and enjoy some of the experiences that will be told. So,
Yeah, but
and adventures.
let's jump into those experiences and let's be frank.
Thanks, Holly.
Mhm.
So, tell me, I'm just going to ask a question right now, Holly. What are some of the things that make you comfortable? I mean, confident, comfortable, secure. What are some of those items?
I think just for starters, my home makes me feel very comfortable.
Okay.
Just being at home, as we are recording this, I am still in my pajama set that has
Mm-hmm.
little stars all over it, so that makes me very comfortable. There's a reason we haven't started video recording yet, people.
And we're waiting on it. There's a couple
We're
episodes that
waiting.
I need the video. So,
Yeah, but, yeah, I think just having a feeling of security and confident is a different thing. I think it
yeah.
would just be, I don't know, being sure in any situation.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're feeling really bad, what's one thing that will make you feel better, or
Mm.
what is something that you could actually do that would change your attitude at that moment?
Oh, that's a good question. I really like if I'm like this week being sick and just feeling crummy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
love getting under covers or under a nice blanket, maybe
Okay.
turning on a favorite show, having some tea or hot chocolate
Mm-hmm.
to just soothe my throat. Yeah, I love all.
So, do you fall back to a food? Can you fall back to a food that makes you feel, okay, this is a homey meal. I feel comfortable now, and I feel just
Yeah.
you kind of let your guard down just a little bit,
Mhm.
right? Because
Yeah.
you're in that mode where you've actually been feeling so secure, so comfortable that you're not really aware of what it is that's going on around you.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, so that's going to be our prelude to the story today.
Sweet.
So this I do trade embalmings, and so this particular company called me in to do a trade embalming for them.
And just
And
really quick, can you explain what trade embalming is?
so it's where outside company that I don't work for on a daily basis will call me and say, "Hey, Frank, we need an individual embalmed. Could you come over and do that for us?" So in other words, they're paying me on a 1099. It's just a service labor, not a service really, but a labor from an outside source that you go in. It's and then the embalming is done. You bill them. You never see them again. really. It's just you don't have any other additional work with that individual or family or the mortuary unless they call you in to do another embalming. Sometimes you do a trade service, so where they call you and say, "Hey, I need you to come in and work a service for us," and so that
Okay, yeah.
that does that too. So the trade, when you think of the trades, I guess a trade embalmer in this case would just be someone that's hired in for a specific purpose and then they leave. They come in, do a job, and they leave. They're not there for a 40-hour work week. Okay, so that being said, so I was called to come in and do a trade embalming for this particular mortuary, and I've done a number of them for this facility, and so I didn't really think much about it, and I had keys to their facility, and so I just told the owner, I said, I will be there this evening. Everything will be ready for you by morning.
Mm.
And so I went in probably at about 10:30 at night. And the one thing that I did not like about this facility is that they had an exterior gate that you had to walk through and then get to the exterior door. And there's a nightlight up above. Sometimes that would work. Sometimes it wouldn't. Otherwise, the entire area right there was completely pitch black, dark. And so you just try and hurry and get in to the facility just as quick as you possibly could, open it up, close the door, lock the door, and then you'd have to run over to their security system and unarm their security.
Yeah.
So I had a little thing that I would do is once I was in there, and depending upon the time of night, it wasn't necessarily in the best of areas. So I would always set the alarm once again with a stay. So in other words, what that means is that when you set your alarm, for those that don't have alarm systems, if you can either set it away or set it stay. And if you set it as stay, you can walk through, and motion sensors don't go off. They don't trigger the alarm, but you can go ahead and walk through the building and do whatever you need to do inside the building without the alarm going off. But if I was to open an exterior door with the alarm in the stay mode, then the alarm would go off.
So you'd have to deactivate it before leaving.
You'd have to deactivate it before leaving, but then reactivate it as a way, because it gives you about a minute to get out of the building before the system actually arms.
Okay.
That being said, I had already reset the alarm for a stay, and I went into their cooler, got the individual out, which is another thing that, well, we've talked about this. I just wish families would, or mortuaries would, if they have you come over to do an embalming, I wish they would have everything set on the table for you, ready to go, so there's no question as to who it is you need to embalm.
Yeah.
So, which isn't a problem if the individuals are identified properly and correctly. So I went on ahead and brought the body out, and I set him on the table, and I had just barely disrobed this individual and was getting ready to totally bathe the individual when I heard a door slam. Now, remember, the alarm is set so that I can move around freely in the building without the alarm triggering, or without the security system triggering an alarm.
Right.
And so I just thought, what was that? And I opened, because I usually leave the prep room door in this facility open because it's a small room. And sometimes the fumes get to my eye, and then my nose, my eyes start to water.
Right.
So I left the door open. So, and trust me, it was so dark at night. There were no other lights on in the building. And so I heard this door slam, and I go, okay, someone's in the building.
That's not good.
No.
That's not what you want to hear.
Maybe it was good. I don't know. Maybe someone was there just visiting, but I didn't hear the alarm because it's a chime. And you can hear it when someone uses the alarm or sets the alarm. You can hear every digit being pushed. And so I didn't hear a thing. And so I stepped out of the prep room for a moment, walked down the hallway, and was looking for areas in which the door had slammed or where the noise had come from, and could not see or find anything. So I turned around, walked back towards I don't know where all the light switches are. And so I'm using my phone, my light on my phone to go down the corridor, the hallway. And so you're seeing that little blue hue on the floor as you're walking along.
That's
or on the
so
wall.
Scary. Oh my God.
But anyway, I couldn't see anything, and I had to go back around the corner to where the kitchen was, and I checked every room that I could see or that I knew about that I thought maybe that door might have closed. So I did see one door closed, and that was at the kitchen area. And so and that's usually open. So I just opened it up and I said, hello, hello. And no light was on, nothing there. And so I just figured I didn't think much more about it and then just turn around and walk back to the prep room. But as soon as I walked into the threshold of that prep room, again, another door slammed.
What?
Yes. And this time I walked in and I knew which door it was because I had just walked through the mortuary. And so I knew which doors
You
were
know
open and which
exactly
doors
which
were
one.
closed.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew this one was to the office area. But the main office, there is an office, but it used to be a bank. And so there's a glass partition that goes across that open area where the office is set.
Yeah.
Where people would be greeted as they came in the open front door. Well, there's an office to the side of that, and to the back, there's that door. It was open, but now it's closed. So I went through, I opened it, and I just looked at it, and first of all, you just kind of get that real weird sensation.
Right.
No spidey sense at this time, but it's
Okay.
coming. It's coming. And so, anyway, the door was closed. And so I opened it up, said, "Hello, anyone here?" And so nothing. So I just left the door open, went back to the embalming. And not at this point, I didn't really think much about it. I had already done the incision. I had already started the injecting of the embalming fluid. And lo and behold, the alarm goes off.
The alarm this
The
time.
alarm goes off. So now it's
Without a
telling me that,
slam?
what?
Without a slam?
Without a slam.
What?
And that means that someone was either coming into the building or exiting the building.
Right.
And so I just thought, oh my gosh, someone was in the building and now they're leaving.
Oh.
So I think that the alarm had gone off, and I went on ahead and hurried and punched in the code. But before I could finish punching in the code, I guess the alarm had notified the police department, and so they had dispatched someone to come, but I did not know that. So I went on ahead and reset the alarm, turned off the alarm that was blaring, and then reset it for stay. So I've done my secure bubble once again,
right,
so that anyone coming inside the building wouldn't set off the alarm. But if someone came into the building, then of course the alarm would be set off. So at that point, I started walking through the building to see what door had actually been breached that caused the alarm to go off.
Yeah.
And every single door was still closed. Every single door was still locked. And as I got to the far end of the building and was coming back around, I looked through the front door, and there coming into the parking lot were cop cars with their lights going, no sirens, but with their lights going.
Okay.
And so I said, oh, crap. Now that I didn't realize the cops had been notified, because I didn't realize they would respond that quickly.
Right.
So I came to the door. They had the one guy drew his gun. I held up my hands.
Yeah.
And I just said, wait, give me a minute. And I opened the door, and they wanted my ID. They wanted to know who I was. And so they called the owners to make sure that I had permission to be in the building.
Yeah.
A standard operating procedure, I would guess. So they told what was going on. And so we went on ahead, and I said, would you mind just walking the perimeter with me, just to tell me what has been going on, or to see if there's something that you noticed that I haven't noticed that might have triggered the alarm. So everything looked good. There was no reason for that alarm to have been triggered. And so when they left, finally, I walked back into the prep room, and wouldn't you know it, lo and behold, that door, another door closed. And
Inside or outside? Like an internal?
Inside, because remember, once the cops left, I reset the alarm again, put that secure bubble, to stay, and went on ahead and set the alarm. So I was the only one in the building, quote unquote, that was physically in that building. And so I just figured, well, even the cops have gone through, they haven't seen anything out of the ordinary. And so I went on ahead and just proceeded to embalm. But in the course of the embalming, I heard the door close. I just shook my head, just kept right on embalming, didn't pay much attention to it. And then another door closer to me opened, and then shut.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I could see the door, because if the layout of the prep room is that door that goes into the prep room is just kitty corner to across the hall. And then there's another wide door, and it's a heavy door.
Right.
And it opened and closed. And so I just said and verbalized it just a little bit. I said, I'll be here for just a few more minutes. I'm almost done. And so I went on ahead and finished. But then I had to, once the embalming was completed, I had to walk to the front office area where that glass pane was. Remember
Yeah.
I was mentioning to you? And I was sitting there doing the paperwork. The light was on. And that would mean that the reflection of the light was shining off the glass into towards me. Behind the glass was dark. But in the course of sitting there doing the glass vibrated.
What?
Yes, the glass vibrated. And I just sat there for a minute thinking, trying to sense around me, did anything else just vibrate?
Right.
Nothing was vibrating. And because sometimes if there was like an earthquake or something, there would be a little bit of a shimmy.
Yeah.
And then I immediately started thinking, oh, was there a big semi truck that just went by on the road that would have
Uh-huh.
caused the building, maybe the window to shake?
Right.
And I couldn't think of anything. Nothing in my mind was allowing me to believe that anything had just happened to cause that window to shake. So I continued working on my paperwork, and that there was a door that I left open into the dark area that comes into the office.
Yeah.
And out the corner of my eye, here we go, Western Bob.
Oh
There
my
was
God.
there was something that just, and I don't know if it was playing in my mind or what, but something went really fast across that doorway. And I thought to myself, what, did I just imagine that, or did I just really see that? And so I stood up, finished, and I didn't finish my paperwork. I just stood up and walked out there and I said, hello? Hello, anyone there? Nothing. No movement, nothing. So I went back. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yeah, and when you say it went really fast, are
Mm-hmm.
you talking like not possible for a human to go that fast or like at a sprint?
I would say more of a sprint. A human could go that fast.
Oh,
It
okay.
was slow enough that I could see it. I mean, to where I could, out the peripheral of my vision, I actually saw it. If it was really fast, it would have been like a just like a blip. But
Right.
no, I could actually focus on through the peripheral vision a figure
You could
or
see the
something.
movement.
Yeah, something going by me or by the office. So I just stood up again, just said, "Hey, hello, anyone there?" And there was nothing. Again, I made the announcement. Okay, I'm about finished. So
Leave me
I'll be
alone,
out of
please.
I'll be out of here in just no time. So I had looked, and they had security cameras on their on the building. And I kid you not, as I looked out into the parking lot, there looked to be like a smoky haze, and it was movement. It was moving.
What?
Yes, on their cameras. And immediately the next day, I went to see if they would if they had recorded it.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Can you go?" Anyway, I'll get to that in just a moment. But anyway, I saw the smoky haze that was going across the parking lot, and it was in the front of the building, not over by where I parked. Hopefully,
Yeah.
but anyway, it was going across the parking lot. This smoky haze, and it was kind of translucent. And I thought to myself, "That's weird to have a steam."
That's kinda weird.
And that steam is keeping it shape, and yet it's still moving. It
Right.
didn't really dawn on me. But then when I started thinking about it, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I think I just witnessed a ghost
Yeah.
on camera." And
Wow.
so anyway, it just went on ahead and went to off the screen to where it was out of sight. And so I was just sitting there looking at it and thinking, what in the world is going on there? So I finished the paperwork, and as I was signing the paperwork as the embalmer,
Yeah.
that window vibrated again. And I looked up at the window, just kind of like my head is still down, but I just raised my
Yeah.
eyes, not my head.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of raised my eyes, and I looked up, and there was a breath on the window.
Oh my
In other
god.
words, someone had just breathed on it, and I could see steam on the window. And so I just thought, okay.
Oh, right, right.
I'm
Okay.
done. I'm done. I'm moving on. I'm
Goodbye.
out of the, I went on ahead, signed it, flipped it over, put a thing on there, a post-it note real fast saying I need to come back and talk to you tomorrow because I wanted to see that camera if
Yeah.
they had recorded it. And so anyway, I closed the light off, and before I walked out into that area where it was dark, where I had to walk through
Oh
again,
my
said,
god. Yeah.
I'm just turning on my phone light.
Right.
Don't panic. I'm okay. You're okay. I'm just walking through the building back to my car.
Uh-huh. So you're narrating as you're going.
Exactly.
Just trying to say, please don't do anything to me. I'm leaving. I'm
Yeah.
out of your hair.
So there's one other thing I have to tell you in the front of this, because as I was walking out to the car, there's their chapel. And in the front of their chapel to the left side, there was a work area. So the gentleman that worked there would sometimes leave that door open. And when I walked by, I'm starting to get chills as I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
As I walked by, that light flicked on. And
like the
the
chapel
door,
light or the
no,
office light?
the work office light flipped on, where all of his yard tools, his equipment for the yard work,
Oh,
any
no.
sanders, saws, anything like that was in that room. And the door was just ajar enough that I would have picked it up earlier had I walked through the building and
Right.
noticed that light on. I would have seen it. But as I was
Yeah.
walking by, I saw that light flick on and I go, okay, here we go. And
The
so
room with the saws, the light was turned
of
on.
course,
Right.
of course, if I was going to run and hide anywhere, it would have be the room with the saws.
Right. No more.
No, but so as I was walking by, I said, hey, I just yelled into the chapel, hey, I'm leaving now. And then I just stood there and I just waited. And you know how you sometimes make, I don't know why I did it, but it's kind of a dumb thing to do. But yeah, make the heavy footprints like, yeah, I'm leaving. And
Like
then you
were leaving?
yeah. And then
Oh my gosh.
and then you got to do it lighter so that they would think that you're actually leaving, because I wanted to see if someone would come out of the room.
Oh my god. That is just so okay. At this point, you're asking for it, honestly.
Anyway,
This
as
reminds
I
me of
said,
last episode. Hey, I'm calling the cops.
oh my
Okay.
word. But anyway, as I'm standing there, I'm expecting, truly, I am expecting someone to come out of that room.
Right.
And nothing. The door did not move. It did not open any wider or close, but the light went off.
Oh. The
And
light
so I
went
said,
off.
the light went off. And so I said, okay, that's it. I'm out.
So
So
this
I
whole time
walked.
you thought you were dealing with a human,
Yes.
someone that was physically there.
Yes.
Oh, that's even scarier.
Yeah. And then the thing that probably topped that off the most is the breath on the glass.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, not hoping, but I was waiting to see if they were going to write something on the breath.
Right.
Like help me
Get
get out. Why are you here?
Hey.
Hey,
How you
hello.
doing?
I'm here.
The smiley face.
I see you.
Oh my god.
So anyway, walked to the security pad once again and hit the code in, set it away, gave me 1 minute to leave the building, and I left the building. And as I walked out of the building, remember that dark area? I told you there was a dark area outside that door that sometimes the light would work above the door, sometimes it didn't. And so having experienced all of that, I just opened the door very, very slow, and it's a double, you had to lock two doors. And so I just thought to myself,
Gosh.
oh, please.
You had to stand there while you're locking.
Yeah, while I'm locking the door, but I had the key ready. And so there was not really much of an issue there. But I just remembered thinking as I was coming out of that area, and that area there, I truly believe is haunted too. And that's another story. But I
Oh my gosh.
went on ahead and I opened that gate and I went on ahead and got into my car and I pulled away, looking in my rear view mirror the entire time before I left that parking lot.
Right.
The entire time I was leaving there, I just thought to myself, what did I just experience in there?
Yeah.
So very interesting for me in regards to that steam. I can never get that out of my mind, that steam. And
was it just like a almost moving across, or did it have a shape?
Okay, so now I'm going back to the breath.
Oh,
I said steam, but the breath on the glass.
The breath. Okay.
Yeah. It's like someone had to get up to it, right up close to it and go.
Yeah, you would have to.
And it's just when you think about how close they had to be to that glass, but I didn't see anything except for that shape that went past the door frame.
Right.
I didn't see it go back. I had nothing like that.
Oh,
so I had no
you never
idea.
thought go back.
Yeah, I had no idea to reference it, and now maybe there. And then I'm thinking as I'm driving away, were there two in there?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but anyway, the shape, the steam in
The
um,
breath
the
or in the
breath,
parking
no,
lot?
in the parking lot,
Uh-huh.
it it remained. I want to say if it was elongated, it remained in a capsule form.
So it was vertical.
Yeah, it was vertical. It was not. It was
It
not
wasn't just like
horizontal.
a mist going across the ground.
I thought it was because it was later in the year, and so it was a little more cold outside. And if the water had just kicked on, then you've got that
Right.
little bit of a steam. But then they don't have grass at that facility. It's all
So
rock
no water was coming on.
unless it was a drip system, and the drip system would not create
That
enough
wouldn't create.
moisture to create the mist.
Yeah.
And so the more and more I thought about it, and so when I went back the following day to see if I could actually see if they could recall the
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 footage.
the footage, the actual camera that had recorded that I saw it on, because I pointed to him the screen. I said, no, it's that camera right there. And so he went on ahead and tried to rewind it. And so it was clear as a bell. And then fuzzy, 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 clear as a bell.
What?
When it left the screen, it became clear as a bell once again. But it was fuzzy the whole time it was on the screen. And he said, wow, that's a glitch.
Sure. That's what you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it is a glitch.
Yeah,
Wow.
all right.
Okay. So yeah, okay. I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my gosh, that's like I think of those ghost hunter shows
Yeah.
and how they're trying to do all this sort of X-ray or whatever,
Yeah.
trying to see spirits' shapes. Like that's a
Hmm.
dream for them.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you too, I thought of that because I do watch some of those. I haven't really
Yeah,
delved a
every
lot
once in a
into it,
while when
but
they're on.
the EVPs,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the EVP. And I thought to myself, if I had had a recording device, I would have recorded and said, hey, why are you here? Something like that, something that I might have been able to pick some communication up.
Mhm.
But I didn't have anything like that on my person at the time. And why would I?
Right.
Seriously. So, but yeah, after that event, I started to not. I almost looked forward to going back there because I
Oh,
wanted to
poor.
see. I wanted to see if there was something else that would. And there's two other stories regarding this facility that I think you should know about
Uh-huh.
and that you might find intriguing. However, this was probably the not the. I don't think it was the first one. It might have been the first one at that facility. I can't remember. But anyway, either way, it was an experience that did take place and did happen.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that I find most interesting about it is I had no one to tie this individual to. I didn't know if it was the individual that we had just embalmed
Right,
or
right.
that I had just embalmed. There was no indication to me that that was the individual that was watching over the cadaver
Right.
that I was embalming at the time. So for me, I think maybe it was just a roamer. I don't know. But
Yeah.
then the thing that triggered me too is how would the alarm go off?
Right. How did the
So
alarm go off?
unless, okay, so this is just me conjecture.
Okay,
Okay.
we love it.
So what happens if a spirit at full force, like what I saw running by that office door,
Oh,
what if
oh,
they,
quick question,
yeah,
before you ask that, did you hear, like, any footsteps or you just saw it?
I just saw it.
Okay.
And I just think, what if that spirit ran as hard as it could and hit the door
Oh, hit
to
an exterior door
to exit?
and just pushed it just enough to
Yeah, wouldn't
trigger
cause
the
it to
alarm?
open, wouldn't cause it to open, but would cause the I guess the security magnets
Yeah,
that are
to
on there
separate.
to separate just enough to cause that alarm to go off.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my own mind, I've been wondering how that might have happened or what could have happened, but yeah, so I don't know.
I have a question again. So, you saw the guy running, and then we're assuming that maybe he hit the door. Did you see the shape moving through the parking lot after that?
Mm. So the shape was going through the parking lot. Well, The alarm was set when I was embalming. The alarm went off while I was embalming. No more alarms after that. But I didn't see that shape in the parking lot until I was in the office at the very end doing paperwork.
Okay.
So it could
'Cause
have. I don't.
I
What?
wonder if the guy, like, was running, went through the door, and then was just going through the parking lot, came back in. I don't know.
So for me, in answer to that, see, you'd have to almost the magnets would separate only on an exit. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But if you were pushing in, then you're pushing the
It wouldn't.
magnets together.
Right, right.
You wouldn't even notice it. But if someone was going outside the door and caused that friction to break just a little bit, or that magnet to break just a little bit as that pressure was put on the
Right.
door, then I don't think it would have happened coming in, but going out,
Uh-huh.
it would have happened. And so he could have been the person that went out
Yeah,
when
but
the
not the
alarm went
same one
off.
that came in.
Right. But I would not have known or recognized when they came back in,
Right.
because that would not have triggered the alarm at that moment.
Huh.
So to me, in my own mind, as I start thinking about stuff like this, and I do a little conjecturing in the stories as I
Yeah.
write them, but I don't know, I don't have anything scientifically factual to that, but it's very interesting what things of technology can pick up.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
very interesting.
yeah, and we'll talk about another one too that you'll see, that you've seen the picture of,
Yeah.
and what technology was able to pick up, and
Yeah,
it's
that's very cool.
it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah. I think that that's just insane. And also going back to the question at the beginning, what makes you feel comfortable? I'm sure going into that facility, especially at night, I would feel very comfortable because you have this state-of-the-art security system. You say, "Okay, I am locked in here." And I know it was locked before,
Yeah,
so
because you
no
had
one
to.
else is in here.
Yeah.
But then to have doors slam, the alarm go off, but all the exterior doors still be locked, and oh. And then the glass.
Yeah, that was probably the most freaky. And I
Yeah,
don't know if I was
terrifying.
wondering if I would sense the vibration because they were actually tapping it or putting their little
Yeah,
dead
they had to
digits on that,
lean against it.
and actually, yeah, I don't know how to shaking it.
Shake it. Did they shake
Yeah,
it before? Did it shake, or was that
it
only
shook.
the first time?
It shook twice. The first time I just looked up, didn't notice anything, but then the second time, shortly thereafter, came that breath.
Okay, so maybe it was leaning on the
Yeah.
glass and then was breathing out.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that? Oh my gosh. And then for you to have the nerve at the end of the night, "I'm leaving." Make quick footsteps.
And then I got
Oh
my
my
I got
god.
my Foley, and you know what a Foley is? A Foley artist, right?
No, what's that?
So it's someone that makes all the noises in movies.
Oh,
So yeah, so
yeah, you got
you
your
do your
Foley.
little light print. It's like, for instance, you see a car skid on gravel, and you
Yeah,
hear, "Ah," which is
right.
totally fabricated because no car is going to make that
No,
noise
yeah,
when they skid on gravel.
right, exactly.
Okay, but yeah, whenever anybody opens a door, that's what they do. They watch the film and they open the door at a precise moment, close it. They do footsteps, they do handshakes,
Oh
they
my
do
gosh.
clapping. If the major characters are clapping, just so that
Right.
everything's in sync. It's very interesting. A Foley artist is an amazing career
So
job.
that was your audition for that.
Hey, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
And still nothing. Darn it! I didn't
Dang
shake
it.
them. I didn't fake them.
Gosh dang it. But then for the light to turn off too, I would
Yeah,
think, I mean, if it was a person in the building, I wouldn't turn off the light if I knew someone was leaving. Or if they had left, I would leave the light on, and then, like, once
yeah.
I was for sure that they were gone, I would leave.
Yes, that does make sense. So I don't know what was taking place or transpiring there, unless that was getting close enough to the day that they were. Maybe they've been there enough to know that someone would be coming in at a particular hour.
Yeah.
To come back into work, and they don't want to raise any eyebrows.
Right.
So it's very interesting when you think about the off hours of facilities and what is actually what could actually take place, what
Yeah.
does take place. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing too is, Does all of this happen basically when you're there late at night by yourself? Is that the majority of your experiences?
The majority of them, yes. However, there are some that have taken place during daylight hours, and I think that they happen all the time. It's just that no one is there to notice it. I mean, you're so
Okay.
busy with your day-to-day
Right.
activities, you
You're
just
running
keep going by
through
and saying, "Oh, that was interesting. You know, what happened there? Why does that moved?"
Mhm.
And but
Right.
if you witness the movement, then you're thinking, "Okay,
How
something
did
here."
that move? Yeah.
Hold on, who's there? Who's playing the joke? Where's the string?
Where's
Okay.
the string? Uh-huh. Who's closing these doors?
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah, it's very interesting the way it all turns out anyway, but I don't know, the more and more I think about these stories and what it is that we either see on a daily basis or the abnormal,
Uh-huh.
paranormal, um, man, sometimes I think we just, like we talked about earlier, look up, man, just be aware of your surroundings.
Right.
Notice what's going on because it could save your life. It could also, I mean, temporarily, it could save your life, or it could open your eyes to something else, something that's
Yeah.
happening. So
Something that's
very
happening all
interesting the
around
way it's
you.
been going. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. That is very interesting. And I don't know. I was gonna say I hope that doesn't happen to you again, but I kind of do because it's really fun to hear.
Geez, Dad, I hope that doesn't happen again. But
I'm
man, it would
crossing
be
my
so cool.
fingers though.
It'd be so cool if it did.
Yeah.
And would you share it?
Would you share it too?
Okay, all right.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's today's story.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for hanging in with us again, Coffners. And please share this with anyone you think would like it. And like, subscribe, leave us a review. That really helps us out. And follow us on Instagram at Coffin Talkin'. Send us an email at let'sbefrank@coffintalkin.com. Thank
Bye,
you.
coppers.